Hi, I'm Ellen Violette, and I'm a literary strategist and publishing expert. And I talk to a lot of authors, and I'm also an author myself. And so I'm in tune to that and what people do with their books and what they don't do with their books. And what I've discovered is that what people will do is, this is assuming that they've either already written one or they're thinking about writing one, or even if you haven't thought about writing one yet but you're ready to think about writing one, um, they'll write a book, and then what happens is they'll start doing other things because they're building their business. Hi, Veronica. And so maybe they'll do Facebook Live, and maybe they'll do a podcast, maybe they're doing videos, maybe they're writing newsletters, whatever it is that they're doing. Hi, Carrie. So they're doing a lot of things, and so what ends up happening is that they aren't writing as many books as they had intended to, and this happened to me as well. That was number one. And when they are writing them, they're not marketing them in the right way, and they're not taking that book and marketing it in an integrated way with their business, or even in an integrated way with what they could be doing just book marketing. And so that's why I wanted to do this call today. So I wanted to give you 6 ways that you can create your books more quickly and leverage the content that you're already producing and start doing better marketing with less work. So here are some things to think about, some strategies, and a different way, a different mindset also I think that you need to get into. So the first thing is, I was talking to this woman, and she was doing a podcast, and I asked her, how long have you been doing this? And she said a year. And she was feeling frustrated because she was trying to write this one book and she couldn't get back to it because she was doing all these other things, but at the same time she was feeling like writing was one of her best assets. So that causes frustration and stress, and that's why I want to help you get over that. So what I said to her was, look, you've got a year's worth of material here. So I'm pretty sure you've got one book in there, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe more, I don't know. But you're not going to know until you go through it and see what's there, and then see if you can clump them together by topics where you could create a whole book on a topic based on what you already have. And, I did a book, and I know when I first started, I thought, these short books, that's not really book writing. But you know what? If you're writing books as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a consultant, whatever you are, a speaker, an independent professional, then really what's important is giving your audience value. It's not important how long your book is. What's important is the value of your book. So I did this book, Turn Your Book into $10,000 Clients. It's 30 pages. Okay, and it actually started out as a podcast, and then I thought it was so valuable, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to, actually I started to do it because I was having trouble getting the podcast together, but then once I did it, I thought, no, I don't want to make this the podcast. I want this to be a book. And so that's what I did. But if you start thinking about what do you already have that where you could have a book, almost done. I've written books so many different ways. I've written books from videos. I've written books from PowerPoints. I've written books from the podcast script. Not every book has to be written from scratch and has to be done like the traditional way. So that's the first thing, is I want you to think differently about the content that you already have, and then see if you can group it together. But here's the really important thing that I want you to do. Going forward, if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing videos, if you're, have a Facebook group and you're doing Facebook Live there, whatever you're doing, think about doing a section of material at a time that you can turn into a book. So now you're starting to think strategically. Okay, so don't just go out there and go, okay, well I did a Facebook here and a video there and a podcast here and whatever, and they're all on different topics. And I've done that too, and I'm not doing that anymore. I just started doing a series in my Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/spread your message, change your life. And I'm just doing book reviews. Okay, now the reason I'm doing that is because I want to take all of those and make something out of that one section of topic, which is book reviews. So start thinking strategically moving forward, because what will happen is you'll be able to do a lot more books a lot faster because you've set it up that way. So it's not like, you've got something over here and something over there, and and it takes you a year to get enough material to put it into a book, because you're doing a certain amount all at one time, and then you can create more books faster. So that's really important. So it's a combination of mindset and strategy. Number one, you have to be thinking about it. You have to put it into your plan. You have to think, as you're making your plan, we're coming up on the end of the year, as you're making your plan for the next year, what am I going to do all year long, and how can I group things together so I can create more books faster? So that's one thing that you can do. And for more ideas on how to purpose your content, I do have a book on this, realeasyebooks.com, realeasyebooks.com. And as a matter of fact, that book was done as a series of interviews, and then it was repurposed into the book on repurposing. So check that out, and I think you'll find it very useful. Okay, next is talk your books instead of writing them. So again, if you're doing Facebook Lives, if you're doing video, if you're speaking, whatever you're doing, if you can talk them, you can get books done a lot faster. Okay, and so some of my books are talked and some of my books are written. And again, it just depends on what I'm doing. But if you want an extra book, like let's say, here's a perfect example. I wanted to get a book out in September. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I'm so busy helping all my clients that I all of a sudden woke up one day and, oh my God, I haven't published a book in 4 years. I mean, where did 4 years go? So I thought, okay, I want to get something out. And it just so happened that's when I had the podcast scripts ready to go. And so I just did that. But if I didn't have that, what I could have done was I could have talked a book. Because when you talk a book, let's see, it's 40 pages for interview style and 30 pages if you're just talking it directly yourself. And that's per hour. So you could have a 60-page book in 2 hours. Okay, you could have a 90-page book in 3 hours. So that's another way to get it out fast, but you're not going to do that if it's not on your mind to do it. Okay, so again, that goes back to putting them into your plan when you start to make your plan for next year. And you know what? We're coming up on the end of the year, and 20% of the books are sold at Christmas time. So if you want to sneak one in before the end of the year, you can do that. You can do it very quickly. And I love the story of one of my clients who came to me the first week of December and decided she wanted to write a book, and she wanted to release it on Christmas. And I didn't know she hadn't written it yet. And I said, okay. She said, can we do that? And I said, sure. And she said, well, I haven't written it yet. And I went, are you kidding? So no. So she wrote it, and we released it. It was #1 on Christmas Day. So don't tell me you can't do it. You've got plenty of time. This is only the beginning of November. So that's another strategy that you can use. Now, the next thing that I want you to think about is that if you're doing bestseller launches, I call them launches because I always do them when I first release a book, but they're really promotions because you can do them whenever you want within the parameters of Kindle. So to do it, you have to give Kindle a 90-day exclusive, and then you can do a countdown or you can do a KDP Select. I like KDP Select. I've done them both. I've made more money starting with the free book than with the countdown. And I know people look at me like, how is that possible? But the reason it's possible is because if you're getting 70% of 99 cents versus 70% of $2.99, and you sell about the same amount of books, which is what happened, then you make a lot more money on the free one. So you get the momentum. But the idea is to think about this. When you do a countdown, if you decide to do one of those, you can only do it once in 90 days. And so you can do it from an hour all the way up to 7 days, but you can only do it one time. Whereas with the KDP Select, you can do it up to 5 days, and you can do it not consecutively if you don't want to. So you can do 2 days, and you can do 1 day, and you can do 2 days, or sometimes what we do is we use 1 free day just to get the reviews before we do the official launch, and then we do 2 days, and then you can do another 2 days, or you can even do 2 days, 1 day, and 1 day. You can do whatever you want within those 90 days. But the point is, what would that do for your business if you sat down right now and you said, okay, I'm making my plan for next year, and for every book that I have, I'm going to create a 90-day plan. Okay, 4 times a year. There's 4 times a year for every single book that you have. And so I can almost guarantee that just about everybody here is not doing that. Okay, and so you're not getting the maximum leverage out of the books that you already have. And when you do that, you make more money, and then you have more money, plus you have more leads, and it helps grow your business. So I really want people to think about that 90-day plan 4 times a year and create a plan for each one of your books that goes into your overall business marketing plan. Okay? And here's the really cool thing. If you're doing books and you're doing content creation in other ways, you definitely want to do it so this all works together. Okay, one plan for everything. That's what you should do. And then you can only do one every 90 days, or as I explained it. But you should also have a 30-day marketing plan for each month. But let's say you don't even do that, but you do have a 90-day plan for each book, and you have several books. I mean, then you would be doing marketing all through the month anyway. And whenever you do that, it'll always say, customers who bought this also bought these. And so you'll always be marketing all your books when you market one of your books. Okay, so that's another thing that's really cool about Amazon. Okay, and then the last thing that you can do is you can participate in a collaboration book. Okay, because this increases the number of books that you have without having to do all the work on all the books. And, so many times people will tell you to do something and they haven't done it. Well, I've done this. Okay, when I started, the first thing I did was a collaboration book, and so then I was able to call myself a #1 best-selling author right out of the gate. And I've done 2 more since then, and I didn't have to do that. I've got plenty of other books, and other ones in the works that I could have put up there, but but I like the idea for 2 reasons. One is I'm getting in front of audiences that I would not have gotten into otherwise. And number 2 is that it's so easy to do. I mean, there's 2 ways that people do it. One is they have you write a story, and the other is you can be interviewed. I'm doing one right now, and we're doing it interview style because it's really fast. I mean, all I need from somebody is 20 to 30 minutes, and I just ask you a couple questions, you answer them, and then after that, I take it and edit them and put them into the book. So that's really a cool way to do it too. So the thing about it is, like I was saying, is, I mean, all of this is about leverage. All of this is about using what you already have. And so these are 6 ways that you can do that. So let me just go through them quickly again if you joined us later. So one was looking at what you've already done and seeing what content you already have that you can group together that may already be a book. That's number 1. And for more ideas on how to repurpose, you can go to realeasyebooks.com. I have a book there. It's under $10, Real Easy eBooks, how to write or repurpose your content. And then 2 is think strategically going forward, so that now when you're doing content, you're doing it in batches, so that you know that when you create a batch, when you're done creating a batch, you've got a book. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's a way to do a lot more fast. And then talk your book instead of writing them. So, if you want to get another book out, you don't have time to do a whole big deal. Not every book has to be a big deal. Okay? So, you're going to have your books that are your big books, and then you can have your other books that are just, supported. And also realize, I know a lot of us are snobs because, we love books. But, Eric Lofholm actually showed me this. He had a client who had like 10 books up on Amazon. He said, look, people go there. Most people aren't sitting there and, putting a magnifying glass on there to see how many pages each book is, right? They just see 10 books. So again, it all helps, and if it's valuable, it doesn't matter if it's short or long. And then 90-day increments. Think in 90-day increments, because that's how Amazon works. So if you do each book into your marketing plan and each book on a 90-day plan, and especially if you've got several of them, you could be marketing all through the month very easily. You can outsource it. We can do it for you. But getting that out there on a regular basis and into your marketing plan is really going to leverage what you're doing with a lot less work. And as I was saying, I just think most people, and I was doing this before too, I'm not doing it anymore, but just not thinking it strategically so that you're all over the place is stressful. You don't get as much done. It doesn't work for you as well. So definitely think in your 90-day plan for each book. And then, of course, if you need more, there are also other things you can do with marketing. And then there was another one I skipped, which was create a series of books. Okay, so one of the things that's cool about creating a series of books is, first of all, you have one cover. So you save money on that setup because you only do it once and then you just swap out the text. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is you save time and energy because, again, you've mapped out a plan for several books at once. So every time you're thinking about doing a book, you're not going, oh God, what is it now? You know, it's like once you've mapped out your plan, then you're ready to go. So if you take that plus, you know, batching your strategies when you're creating your content and then doing your books either, you know, one of the other ways by doing it from the video or the podcast or whatever, it's another way to, you know, to save time and be more productive. And then the other thing about that is that it will also give the, you know, the person who goes to Kindle, they'll look and see all these books with the same title page, you know, the same cover, and then they just have a different subtitle, but it makes you look more knowledgeable in your field because they're all the same. They're different, but they're all the same, and so it shows that you're niched into a, you know, into a topic, and that's actually what I'm doing right now. Is I've had a book cover design that is going to go now on several of the books. So they're all going to be in the series. And 2 of them actually are on Amazon right now, but now they're being updated and then they'll be re-released with the new cover. So it's a series. Okay, so I'm doing everything that I'm telling you guys to do. And then, as I said, the last one was participate in collaboration books. Even if you're doing your own book, do collaboration books too. You know, you get to network with different people, you get to help other people, but mainly, you know, you get yourself out there with a lot less work. So anybody who's interested in coming into a collaboration book, I'm doing one right now, but because I don't know when people are going to see this, the best thing to do is just to send me an email at info@ellenviolette.com, info@ellenviolette.com, and tell me that you're interested in collaboration books, and then whichever one we have going at the time, I can just send you the information. But I will say for this one, I'll give you the direct link too. If you want to, you can watch the webinar, and there's some free PDFs that you can get, and that one is at ellenviolette.com/webinar. That will give you access. ellenviolette.com/webinar. So that's really what I wanted to share with you guys today. It's really just another way of thinking about things, you know, starting to work so that everything starts going together, working more smoothly, so that you can work less, make more money, get more visibility, and just use what you have. Because I know so many of us, you know, you get, you know, oh, I got to do this, and oh, I got to do that, and oh, I got to do the other thing, when you already have a lot of stuff that's right in front of you and you're just not thinking about it strategically. So I hope this helps, and I hope to see you on Amazon. Bye.